It's loading. Okay, we are live.
Damn it! And I was in the middle of yawning.
Whew. Okay.
Hello, part 3.
Hello, guys. We are actually live this time. This is our third. Yes, everything is done. Okay, I checked everything. We are actually live.
It only took. How long is it? It only took 12 minutes.
Yeah, casually 12 minutes. We basically have been trying to. This is going to be our little pre-show for the people who are watching live. We've been trying to get it live, but YouTube has a new streaming thing, so I had to physically go on YouTube also and click live. Usually I can just click it from the streaming software, but now I have to click it on the streaming software and go on YouTube and click it live there. So sorry that we're 12 minutes late. We literally tried doing this like 12 times.
But did it work?
It worked this time.
It worked on part 4.
On part 4. I'm gonna check the audio before we open up this episode to make sure everything is nice and cool. If it's up, then it's up. Okay, our audio's good. Everything is set to go. See, the real tea is, do we stream it on TikTok?
We still gotta figure that one out.
I know. I'll figure it out at some point. I wish that you could stream on TikTok like with the streaming platform and not just on your phone, because you literally can only do it on your phone, which is so annoying. But yeah. Okay, you ready to start? Well, like, start the intro.
Oh, yeah. I was like, didn't we already start?
Let me pull up the thing. Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the GYV live podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Judith.
How you doing?
And we're back. Just like last time, we had a tiny bit of technical difficulties and a few failed starts. So this is our like third or fourth time recording the intro. But we're here and we're back. And today's going to be a chill episode because we know last episode was a hard hitter. But yeah, today's going to be a chill episode.
Now we're just going to relax a bit.
I did also want to update you guys. We talked about our uploading schedule. We would like to do a podcast on Wednesday because it's like the middle of the week, and 2 on the weekends. So you can have that entertainment. And I'm glad we are doing this on a Sunday because then you also have Monday, and Monday's a gross day for those who can't listen to it right now. They'll be able to listen to it tomorrow. So I'm glad we're doing it today. But yeah, we got a few topics to dive into today. It might not be the longest episode, but we got some topics to talk about. But yeah, would you like to start us off? Because I know you were the one who suggested this first topic of public transportation. So I didn't know. Yeah, if you want to start it off.
So, I don't even know how to start it off, so I'm gonna just like throw it out there, and whoever like grasps it. The U.S. public transportation is poo-poo diapers.
It's so bad.
It is so bad. It is so bad to the point you cannot get a job if you tell them you are going to your job through public transportation, because that is how bad it is.
And I know that like a lot of people kind of, the staple of like New York is like their transportation system, but just because they have tons of public transportation doesn't mean that they're rooted in the right places, you know? Like it's still gonna get you hours to get places, and now because there's so much, it's like extremely complicated. Like you have to learn how to read these maps and things like that, and it's crazy. And like another thing too is there's also delays. Like if you're in New York, you know that there's also a lot of delays and a lot of people doing stupid stuff on transportation because the system was built years and years and years ago. And same with most places. Like our public transport are built on these old tracks. They're built in old situations that are now dirty and crusty, and they're all rely on systems that are extremely old. Um,
And sorry, I was in the middle of yawning. And not just that, it's the fact that you like just how you said it. Most of them are built on old tracks. Now that there's more people, it's like more population. All they're doing is adding and adding and adding, which is just entanglement of tracks and buses. Their routes are entangled. So there's times where the bus will be late and then you're late, or the bus just flat out never shows and you're like, what the fuck? Damn
and
it, I tried.
that's
Tried
another
so
wait,
hard.
let me check what time you just cussed at. 8 minutes. So I can
Wow,
bleep
I
that
couldn't even.
out. We love that. Yeah, cut that out, me. Anyways, I know that that same thing kind of applies to like bridges. Like a lot of our bridges, especially that are like monuments, like the Golden Gate Bridge and like things like that. These roads and these specifically these bridges were built a very long time ago when there weren't that many people on the road. Things like the Golden Gate Bridge, even though they are reinforced and like stuff like that, they were built for a couple of thousands of cars to come by every day. Now we have hundreds and thousands of people crossing those bridges every single day. At some point, it's gonna give out because it wasn't originally built for the
All
modern
that
day
weight.
car usage.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when these systems were built, these public transportations and these roads and these things like that, they were built for how many people were taking it at the time. There weren't hundreds and thousands of people taking public transportation or using cars every single day. And now there is. So there's a problem.
Yeah. It's just I feel like a lot of things just need a restart.
Yeah, a lot of systems um, need to be restarted. And we live in California and we have a gross public transportation system over here. Like compared to some other places. Like we don't have a subway. Like that's very much an East Coast thing is subways. We have like trolleys and stuff like that that are all above ground. But then again,
But
California is a much bigger place, and the places that do have subways are usually smaller. I don't know if there's a reason for that, but that'd be my guess.
I feel like it would be like way more convenient if we had subways or public transportation underground, so there'd be more space for the cars, the bus, taxis. We don't have taxis. Ubers,
Hmm.
Lyft, like because the tracks are on top, there is just not enough space.
I know that. Damn, what was I gonna say? You just mentioned about Damn, I'm such a mess. Cut this part out, me. Because I forgot what I was gonna say. 11 minutes. Haha. Anyways, continue what you're saying.
No, I think that was all. I was just saying that it's just it would be more efficient if the things were underground. But again, I can see like how like, oh no, if it was underground, then this and this could happen. I was like, okay, then if it was above ground, then this and this happened, which has happened. So like pros and cons, pick one that works best with society at the moment, and then the one that would work
Yeah, we need
better
to
would be
adapt
underground.
based on our current society
Yes, and we haven't.
at all. I would also like to see more security.
Not
Just
even just more security, just more reliable security.
mm-hmm. Because they be doing nothing. People be doing crazy stuff when it comes to public transportation, and they just do nothing about it. And on top of that, people, there's a problem with people like going on trolleys and subways without having like passes or anything. They need to get people to start paying and whatever. Another thing that starts helping with that is security. Is not just security, but security that actually does something, that's actually looking at these people and being like, they probably don't have it. And I know in most cases, they're every once in a while they have them come on and they check everybody's pass to make sure they actually have it. And on buses, you have to have a pass no matter what to get on a bus. But it's not happening every single time. So if you want to stop that, you need more reliable security to be checking to make sure that people are actually paying. Or in general, to reiterate, that's only for the places that have to pay. I am all for free public transportation. Our system of public transportation is so bad. Just give us a free transportation. Like, me saying that was
Oh,
specifically about the places that have them pay. But I am an advocate for free public transportation.
and again, this is everything like from last podcast. Everything comes back to money. It
Oh, yeah,
always
for real.
does. And I get it. You need money to sustain, to live, to show power because apparently that's important. But like I feel like the essentials like public transportation, healthcare, literally essentials
Yeah, to
are
live, it should be
necessary.
free.
Yes. And I get it. People were like, "Oh, but then the people who are working there are not going to have money. They're going to be broke or like there's just no way to sustain it." I was like, "But if you think about it, the big corporations behind all the things that we need essentials for have been hoarding their money.
Oh, yeah, they
There is enough
definitely have the money.
they definitely have the money to pay us back, but they're hoarding it and hovering it over our face like us hovering a carrot in front of a horse's face so
And I
it
know one of the
moves.
bigger things is the push for public transportation because of like carbon emissions and, the environment. And one of the biggest ways to get more people on transportation, public transportation, so they're not taking cars everywhere and all that, is to make it free and make it better. More people are going to go on public transportation if it's better, if it's free, and that's going to put less carbon emission into the environment because less people are taking cars everywhere.
Yes. And
And that probably
because
could be some sort of source of money because you're not having to buy oil all the time.
and I feel like also because of the shitty public transportation, now instead of cars being not what's the word oh, I forgot the word, but now cars are a necessity instead of like
A luxury.
there you go, thank you, a luxury. Because now it for jobs you need a car, and if not, there it's rarely any case that you'll get it. You need a car to get from point A to point B because walking won't do that, or
Yeah,
public
and with public
transportation.
transportation, it's gonna take hours. Like you can go to that place in 9 minutes, and then on public transport, it could take 2 to 3 hours because it takes you on crazy routes. And once you get off, you might not even be able to find a bus stop or a trolley station or a subway station anywhere near where you are. So you have to walk an hour or 30 minutes to find one and then get on.
And not just that, is that the place going back home is another hassle because maybe by the time you're done doing what you were doing, there's no more buses
Oh yeah,
coming.
it's closed.
Yeah, like at least have there be transportation for those who need it.
I don't understand why. I mean, maybe I can kind of understand because there's not as many people like going on it, but public transportation, especially specific types, should probably be open 24/7. I don't know if that's ignorant of me to say because less people are traveling, maybe just extending the hours. But like you said, when people are working and they're working, up until midnight or like whatever, and now they have to, if they took public transportation to get there and they're planning on taking it back, now they have to change everything up because now they have to walk back to wherever their train station, their subway station, their whatever station is, and it could be closed. Or you could get on, and then by the time you get off, it's closed. So now you're just stuck.
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to readjust the hours of your job based on, like, public transportation, which is sucky.
Because sometimes the job's like, no, it's not my problem.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you would basically have to say, I can't work midnight shifts, I can't work late shifts because I'll be stuck here, basically. Because of the public transportation in the city. I think Miami has, in one of their cities, they have free public transportation, which is cool. I know some places have free public transportation, but I would love for there to be a bigger push towards free public transportation in all of the U.S. I would love for it to become federal law.
Yeah. But that was like my take on public transportation. It's just shitty and we need to work on it.
I agree. In today's news, now that we're wrapping up this topic, we were talking a little bit before it. I don't think you know who they are, but do you know who the Game Grumps are?
I think I've heard of them, but not.
Basically, applying to their name, they're like a gaming channel, and they make content surrounding gaming and stuff like that. And they're like a comedy duo. It's two of them. It's Aaron and Dan. So basically today when we were looking for topics, I saw on Twitter that they're trending right now, and I was like, ugh. So I clicked on it, and so this is what I'm getting from this story. Basically, one of them, Dan, there was this fan, which is a thing, because I even said on most of the podcasts, I don't think you should be using your fans as a dating pool.
Oh, yeah. No, that's weird.
Especially if it's online. Like, if you are, like, finding this fan online and you're, like, texting them, like, whatever, trying to get it. It's not the best idea to hook up with a fan. I just don't. And a lot of these YouTubers that are getting called out, especially recently, because a whole bunch of people are being called out right now for that type of stuff. It's all like their fans all online, and then they happen to be younger, and there's so much lying and abuse of power in a situation where you're online and you're a celebrity or an influencer talking to a minor or talking to a fan, not just a minor.
Which a lot of their fans are minor.
Mm-hmm. Like they know their demographic. They can check. They literally have to, in most cases, target their stuff to the people who are watching. Like, they know what their audiences are. They interact with their fans. Obviously, a little too much. Get it? Haha. Anyways. So, the story that I'm getting is that Dan, there was a fan who was 17 at the time, and was turning 18 in a couple of months, and she got in contact with him at some point. And then when she turned 23, that's when they like started sexting and they hooked up.
Hold up. What?
So basically, and I'm going to get your opinion on this after I restate this. Basically, he meets this girl when she was 17, but was turning 18 soon. And so they were talking around that time, but there were no sexual stuff or anything like swapped or anything. They were just like met and were like talking. And then later, when she was 23, that's when they started sexting and everything. And I'm on
Okay.
Twitter right now to kind of like look at it. But that story alone doesn't 100% give me any too much of a bad vibe. Like, especially because people are calling him a pedophile and a groomer. I wouldn't say pedophile because legally he is not one. But maybe I'm going to do more research after I say this. Maybe I would say groomer because he was grooming someone who wasn't of consent yet. And then once they came of consent, maybe. But even then, they didn't do anything until she was 23. But there's also an argument to be made that he started grooming her, and then once he felt comfortable, that's when they did stuff. I don't know. Um,
I
I don't know. What are your opinions? I'm gonna read a little.
okay. For starters, I think okay, that's creepy. First of all, talking to a 17-year-old. Like, I get it. No, I don't. Like, um, even talking to a 17-year-old is very creepy vibes.
Yeah, but the thing,
Even
I'm not trying to defend him, but the thing that I'm getting though is that there wasn't really much of like there were like basically no sexual talk at all, and they basically didn't really talk. Like they met and they talked and they stopped talking, and then when she turned 23, that's when things started to happen. That to
I
me,
feel
I'm maybe hearing that he lost connection and didn't really know who she was the second time just because it's been so long. I don't know.
I feel like even then they shouldn't have been talking to a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
that
Anna
that's
was a fan. That's the one thing where I'm like, I'm always iffy when influencers
like
do
if
stuff
it's
with
if it's like
fans.
with if it's talking with a fan, like I understand if it's like in public because like um of meetings, but it's not just like that one person, but through texting. Like they got their phone number, their personal information, and they were just talking to them alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you talking to 17-year-old? Like maybe they did connection. Like they don't know who it was. Like I get it. I guess how it can seem weird. Like I don't know who she was until like they told me. But if they did know who it was, there like there must have been something. There must have been feelings for that little girl when she was 17.
So
It's
I'm
just
looking
weird. There's
right
just not
now.
enough.
And yeah, there's not enough information. That's like what everyone is saying is like, is there actually a connection? Because it's people are like, what is happening specifically because it almost feels like the part about her being 17, like it almost sounds like that's no connection with later because it sounds like she like there was text exchange when she was 17 like was like oh my god he responded to me and then years later they started like talking, so people are like is there even a connection between that, like does he even know who she is, like did he know that they talked before? And I don't know yet. None of them has made a statement. And also, if you go on Twitter and you check that Game Grumps trending thing, it's the only trending thing that doesn't have any new stuff on it. Usually, it says allegations, blah 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 blah. But the trending thing, this is the first time I've ever seen something trending where it's just people tweeting because there's no like headlines, and everyone in this feed is confused. They don't know if we should like I don't want to say attacking, but like maybe canceling or maybe trying to, take care of the victim.
I feel like maybe there was like some jealousy in the fandom, and
Well, yeah,
someone
there's
decided.
definitely is. They definitely have a portion of the people who just like don't like them and have been trying to cancel them for a long time.
Yeah, so if there isn't a lot of information, if none of the people, like the people that are being accused, have come up to talk about it, and the girl hasn't talked about it either,
Yeah, and
at
I'm
this point,
guessing when the girl was sort of, I was like, oh, blah 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 blah, like this is what happened between us. And also I had like met him, I don't want to say met because I don't know if they didn't really met, but they were talking online. Like we first like exchanged texts when I was like this age, like a month or two before I was 18. I don't know if that was her coming out about an allegation. I just think that's when she was saying when they met. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Like nobody's had any extra saying on what's happening. And
'Cause
definitely go ahead.
at this point, I think it's just safe to assume that there's just a lot of miscommunication,
Oh,
not enough
definitely.
information, a lot of rumors just being spread. Like there's so much that could have gone wrong. So until we get a part a part of the story from the one being accused
Mm-hmm.
and the one that's supposed to be the quote unquote victim or survivor, sorry, not victim, survivor, there isn't really much to say other than
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening.
yeah, exactly. And that's what everyone is saying in this thread. I want to say at least that they definitely do need to address it.
Yeah, like fix the miscommunication, the
Yeah, exactly.
misunderstanding.
Because they're trending right now, which means they know what's going on. So if they don't address it, then I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, something is definitely wrong. They should be addressing this.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we don't know if the survivor or victim was coming out.
Maybe they were just like, "Oh, hey, look, I met this person and I was this many years old, like a past memory, like, oh, I can't believe I was so young when I met
Yeah,
them.
like
Like they were part of my childhood."
this girl, she hasn't elaborated on anything. She wasn't. What I'm looking at, I'm basing this off of all the stuff because I can't find any of this stuff, which is also what people on this thing are saying. Like they can't really find a lot of information. Is that basically a lot is unexplained. We're not necessarily sure if these are allegations, and at this point, I mean, of course, it's late and it kind of recently happened. Nobody's spoken on it yet.
Yeah.
But I really hope that these allegations are that the allegations that the public are bringing up are not true.
You can't really do anything about it
Until we get more information. I mean, I
yeah.
definitely had to bring it up just because I mean, it's a big YouTube. They're one of the biggest gaming people, you know. And onto another thing is that not trying to say anything. The part that we do know is that when she was 22 or 23 and they did have sex, they both consented. Do I know?
Yeah.
I do not know, but you know, going back on the other hand, if these allegations are true, he could have groomed her when she was younger. And even if
Yeah.
it was consensual, the allegations of him being a groomer would be true. Because he could have basically convinced her from when she was young. But I don't know. But
Yeah.
so far, what
Again,
I'm
there's just
seeing is that I'm going to read this tweet right now. Um, Game Grumps, Game Grumps is read into it. Turns out Dan had consensual sex with a 22-year-old, then ghosted her. Was this shitty to do? Yes, no debate. But to cancel someone because they started talking when she was 17 and 11 months old is stupid. See, that's also confusing because did they start talking at 17, 11 months and then continue talking? Because that's
yeah,
different.
there's just not enough information to go around.
Because if that's the case, that kind of sounds like grooming because she wasn't at the age of consent when she was 17, whatever. And then he was consistently grooming her until they were comfortable and then he was being sexual. But other people are saying whatever. Like, it's so weird because everyone doesn't know the information and where to put it.
Yeah. So it's just a whole conundrum and there's just not
Yeah.
enough.
He shouldn't have ghosted her.
Not just that, I just feel like this whole situation is just not enough information to go
100%.
off.
And hopefully they do respond to it. And if they do, and if
Because
anybody
if
responds
not,
to
it's
it,
just gonna be sketchy.
oh, definitely. And when/hope when they do, we will report on it.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I just had to report on that. I wanted to be the first, but not really. um, the last thing I wanted to talk about is everybody that a lot of YouTubers, and especially in the podcast realm, everyone's talking about cryptocurrency. And basically, everyone's been talking about NFTs because Jake Paul, who I hate to mention,
Whoa.
H3, I think a little bit of Keemstar, Jeffree Star made, even though we hate Jeffree Star, he made something with the cryptocurrency too, so he's been talking about it. Basically, there's a new market called NFTs, and it's kind of like crypto art. Like you make digital art, and then you can sell it on this market with cryptocurrency. And basically, it's like buying a stamped, like, it's kind of like buying someone's art online, basically, with cryptocurrency. But people are
Buying
kind of
someone's what?
art, and
Oh,
people
uh-huh.
are very iffy about it because like it almost feels like you can't really buy digital art. And then there's an argument to be made that like it's because the copy that you're getting is from the original artist, so it's almost like having an original, or it's like having a piece of their art that no one else has. But you can
Yeah.
always, it's digital, you know, like you can see it. But I also just think the art world is dumb. Not saying like, I think that the people who are buying the art, I'm talking about the art realm now, not crypto. It's like these millionaires just get to decide how much art is worth. And it's basically an embezzlement scheme of just spending millions and millions of dollars of art that you just decide is good and that you pretend to add a meaning to, you know? Or you don't know.
I don't know. I think I understand. Or not really.
But I think basically all I'm saying is that I think the crypto art is a cool idea and that it's a good way for artists to earn money during quarantine. And I think that the actual art world where million and billionaires and whatever are get to decide what cool art is by spending millions and billions of dollars is stupid and harms artists. But yeah, that's what I had to say about that. Is there anything that you wanted to add?
No, I think you actually mentioned
Yeah.
most of it.
The last
I mean,
thing. Oh, go ahead.
no. Sorry.
Okay. This podcast is a mess today.
I know. I mean, it's a chill day, so it's like random.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, not sorry. It's chill day.
The last thing I want to talk about is kind of like the dance community and how its treatment of people of color. I first wanted to say, well, especially specifically in ballet, like ballet was founded basically by white people, not basically, it's founded by white people and royalty. And at first it was only for men, and then they let women, you know, dance, and then they became more the focal point. But it's like literally there is a perfect dancer's body, which is why we always hear about all these dancers who don't eat and they have eating disorders and like stuff like that, is because you're basically told what a perfect dance body is. You want to have long legs, you want to have a taller
I
body.
remember when they said that to us, and I was like, no.
Like fully there's actual like perfection in dance. Like there are things that are perfect in dance. So if you don't meet those body standards, it's just one thing that's like, we're not going to let you into this like company. Like it's very discriminatory, and especially like futuristics that might be associated with black culture, things like that, like having a bigger butt, or just girls in general having bigger busts or having a different body style. It's like, well, you're not going to make it anywhere because for centuries we've had this ideal of a perfect body. So now all of these companies are filled with what we think that body is. And since ballet is very much like everyone should look the same, in like these ballets, like in the ballet, in the ensemble, everyone should look universal and the same. Now there's no chance for someone with a different body style to be in it because they're going to be the one standing out. And they can't have
Yeah.
that. Which shouldn't be an excuse though. Like you should then hire a whole bunch of people who look that way. And there's also that argument with black people and people of darker skin tone because part of that perfect dance body is having the skin tone of a white person. Balanchine, I think, some of the famous ballet dancers who founded the the American Ballet Theater, which is a ballet company that represents America. He said that the perfect dancer is the shade of an inside of an apple peel because it's white. And it's the
No.
exact same thing I was saying with body types is that since the center of ballet is at the ensemble, the company is universal and kind of looks the same, so it doesn't offset the story in the ballet. Since for centuries, that was the ideal. You have all these white people, and now if you hire a black person to be in this ballet, they're going to be the one black person in a sea of white people, and they're going to stand out.
Yeah.
And I mean, this can be applied to anything of basically how a system saying this is how it is just going to affect how it is now. Because these companies who represent America in the dance realm aren't going to want to hire different body types, different whatever, because now they've been hiring white people who are skinny and don't have breasts and don't have a body for however many years. It just won't work. That's what they think. It just won't work now because they just look too different. Like, to have Misty Copeland, finally somebody of a different body type who's very muscular, which you don't really see a lot in ballet, and who's black, finally make it as a prima ballerina at the American Ballet Theater is such a great step forward. Like now we've opened so many doors for different body types and different skin tones. And it's
Like,
crazy to think how long it took.
exactly. Like, it shouldn't have taken this long.
Like I'm gonna look up when it was founded because I think it was like 100 years or so. That's too long.
So not that long ago.
It's like how from the inception of ABT, like you could have had a single black person. American Ballet Theater founding. Like it was founded in 1939.
Wait, let me do the math for this. Wait, 19 what?
1939. We're looking up the math of how long it took.
1939. 82 years.
So it's been 82 years.
It hasn't even been the triple digits that people that were born from literally nothing.
So for these years where people are like, it's a more progressive time, and it's like it took all those years, all the way up to like the 2000s, to get a black person to represent America in the dance realm. It took that long, and it wasn't like it was. It's just insane that it took that long to have representation. It shouldn't have taken that long. Like, this is a semi-modern company, It wasn't founded in the 1700s, the 1600s, like a lot of these other classical companies were. That are basically, like, in castles and are in operas and things like that. Like, this was in 1939. Like, people who were alive during that founding are probably still alive right now. So, I don't understand why it took so long.
I don't know.
But yeah, I am happy that we finally have someone. And also, even though she is on the skinnier side, she does have a butt and she's very muscular, which aren't, associated with dancers, is that women don't usually have these huge muscles. So now she's not only opened up the door for more people of color to come into the company, but
With
also
different
people of
body
different body shapes.
Yeah.
So I'm very
I
glad that our ending girl is able to represent both categories.
What I don't like though, I mean, yes, oh, thank you finally. But what I don't like about the teaching system of this is that even after finally having a person of color and with a different body shape, they are still teaching female female presenting um,
People.
people, dancers, that they have to slim down or stop eating certain foods because it will make their bust bigger or
Oh
their
yeah,
butt.
like it's the teaching style to literally induce eating disorders.
Yes, that's
Like
yes.
they basically give you an eating disorder and everyone in the community is okay with that. They endorse racism and everyone's okay with that because that is the teaching style of dance. That's how dance is,
Which is
which is
so
not
dumb.
okay. Just because
Like,
something is done does not mean it's correct. Just because it's been done for so long does not make it right.
exactly. What is I remember when they told me I needed to slim down and I had to like go on a diet and stuff because it's quote unquote healthy. Dieting is not healthy.
Yeah, it is not
It is
healthy, especially if you're dancing.
yes, because
Like you're
how are
already dancing.
yes, like how are you going to tell someone who's going to be physically active for what? Let's say we were physically active for what 4 hours a day for 5 days straight for 6 9 months nonstop. How are they going to tell you, oh, you need to slim down by dieting because it's not that you're not exercising, is it of how you're eating? Okay, what if the only thing I can eat is the breakfast that is served on campus and
Oh,
the lunch that
fully.
is served?
I
That
almost
is
feel
literally
like it's an oxymoron because they're kind of implying like, you're not as healthy, like whatever, whatever. But you see these people. I am working out. You're watching me work out.
like and literally the only thing you see me eat is these two meals. And I just like you see that I'm not losing weight because me as a person, like the person I am, I can't lose weight easily. It is in
Mm-hmm.
my family's genes that if once I gain weight, it is the
There.
hardest thing to lose. And you can't even tell me, well, it's because you're unhealthy. Literally, I have done multiple blood tests. I am perfectly healthy. I don't have any disease. I don't have any sickness. Maybe my vitamin is fucked up, but that's because of quarantine. But back then, when I would work out, I was still a chunky girl, and I still am. But I was just not slimming down. My body was just staying the same. I was gaining muscle, which made me look big. So even if I lost some fat, I was gaining muscle, which made me gain weight, which
Mm-hmm.
made the teacher say, you're gaining weight and that's unhealthy. Because it's not. It's not like
Yeah,
your
you're gaining
bones
muscle weight.
Yes, your bones have weight, your intestines have weight, your organs have weight, the blood in you has weight, the liquid in you has weight, the air you breathe adds some weight sometimes, the muscle you gain adds weight, the
And it's a
fat
whole
you
thing.
it's how are you going to put us on a scale and then say boom, that's your weight and be like, oh, you're obese. Okay, what about the muscle I just gained? Like, is muscle unhealthy?
Yeah,
Is
IB like is it IBM? Uh
BMI?
BMI, yes, yes. BMI is not an accurate scale of anything with any human being. And
No,
we know
it is
that. We
not.
observe it. And doctors know, like, it's not an accurate scale of if you're healthy or if you're
Oh,
capable of doing things.
speaking of BMI and doctors, this is I don't like the body shaming in there's body shaming in everything. I
For
realized
real.
as I am not a plus size woman. I am just a middle size, so I'm not skinny, but I'm not plus size. But I'm in the middle and I still get body shamed for it. especially at the doctors, because BMI is basically them your whole weight. So everything that I just mentioned, like literally a few seconds ago, and the water you consumed. That's what
Mm-hmm.
BMI is. If you are over a certain percentage, whether the weight comes from your muscle or from your bone or from fat, that is the weight you are. And so, because if the weight is higher than a certain number, you are obese, even though all that weight is coming from a healthy source.
I can't. It's especially because, like, I'm a person who is within my BMI. And it's like, if which I was at one point, if I was constantly losing weight and a doctor would look and say, oh, you're at your BMI, they would just assume I'm healthy. But if
Well,
somebody is going into the doctor and losing tons of weight, they could have an eating disorder. But because you're a
exactly.
doctor who's like, oh, they're in their BMI or they're over their BMI, they're just losing weight to get into it, they just assume that they're just living a healthier lifestyle because they haven't fallen out of the BMI. Like, it doesn't start becoming a problem until you're over your BMI or you're under it.
Not even that. Yes, that. But if you're in your BMI, they don't notice that you are literally starving yourself to be in there until
Literally.
you're coming into the hospital almost every other day. Your organs start malfunctioning, where you start regurgitating everything because your body does not want to accept it anymore. Or when you're taking supplements to make sure you're not intaking too many calories,
Mm-hmm.
that then ends up messing up your body. After then even if you're still in your BMI, that's when they're finally be like, okay, there's something wrong. And even then they'll be like, okay, well, you're in the correct weight, but you're just not doing it correctly. Well, shit, and then you finally do it quote unquote correctly, and then you gain weight,
Yeah, and then you gain weight.
and then they're shaming you again. It's like, if you don't even, like, scrap humans, look at actual wild animals. The if you're the animals that intake plants have to eat twice as much to be able to grab to gain the fat they need to survive, while the carnivores don't really eat that much, just because the herbivore already, their prey already has the food they need. Now us, as people who have to intake both plants and meat, but we can survive without meat, if you know how, as a healthy way, you are going to gain weight from both sources,
Mm-hmm.
because the protein that you get from meat and the protein you get from vegetables and fruit are going to go to different parts of your body, meaning it's going to make you gain weight in different parts of your body, in different kinds of muscle, fat, bone, whatever. And it's the human body is such a complex, not even the human body, bodies, period, are such a complex thing that you cannot just put someone on a scale. Like, if you were weighing a 1 pound vegetable fruit for 99 cents, like, you have to literally remove each part of the person or animal and be like, okay, this is how much this weighs, this is how much this weighs, this is how much this and this weighs. So the total is, okay, they're healthy, or no, they're not really healthy. And not just that, you don't have not only do you have to take into consideration that everything weighs differently and it adds up to your whole weight, genetics, like I said, my genetics as well. Genetics
Yeah, people have
is,
different metabolisms.
everybody has different metabolisms. Sometimes in the genes, there's something in your genes that makes you gain weight or lose weight. Some things you can't control. There's just so much you need to put into consideration.
Yeah, there's
You
so
can't.
many factors, and it's very much being simplified by having one system of having a BMI, of just everything is put into, well, this is your weight, this is your BMI, you have a problem. Like, it shouldn't be
Like,
that simple.
It shouldn't. Just how they take X-rays to make sure that your bones and muscles are healthy, they should take that extra step to make sure that your weight is the correct weight,
Oh,
not
absolutely. And
just.
they have machines that you
But
sit and they
it's so
scan and
it
can
is so
show.
expensive. It is so expensive.
But healthcare is not free. So they have the money. They always have had the money to standardize it. But all these medical institutions are so set in their mind of simplifying everything to BMI and not using these machines that could actually tell us what is healthy within our bodies. It's insane.
It's ridiculous. Everything's flawed. Everything just needs to be redone. It's
Yeah, this
insane.
is the moral of the episode. Is everything needs to be redone. Dang, I thought this
Ooh.
episode was gonna be shorter.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was going to be shorter, but I guess not. We made the mark.
I know. We're at 52 minutes right now. So,
Okay. I guess we'll have to end it here because I do have to finish my homework. The homework I
yes, me
did not
too.
do.
So,
So, moral of the things. Let's recap.
yes,
Um,
let's recap.
you, the United States' public
It's
transportation
garbage.
is shit. It's garbage. We gotta change that.
Absolutely.
Second thing, there's rumors going around of
About the
another
Game
game,
Grumps.
the Game Grumps, that there is literally no evidence for, so there is nothing that we can do about it or talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Just assumptions, and assumptions can only get us so far.
So
Last,
when we do get something better, we will report on it.
yes. Lastly, your weight does not matter.
Yeah.
If you know you're being healthy, you're being healthy. Body shaming is in the medical field, in dancing field, in work and everything. Just because you're a certain shape or weight does not mean you're
Or
unhealthy.
shade.
Or shade. Shade wouldn't be healthy. Shade would just be you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You're beautiful just the way you are. And if anybody tries to shame you, literally hit them with the facts of even medical professionals can't tell my weight correctly.
Period. Well,
That's
guys.
something. Anyway.
Thank you guys for listening on all your favorite listening platforms. We now have a schedule. We're going to be uploading on Wednesday and probably Friday, Sunday.
Friday, Sunday is like a 2-part thing. So like probably from like 11 to midnight. So it becomes
a both
two,
thing.
Yeah, it's both thing.
And this podcast is live. And if you want to watch our live, we now do them on YouTube, which will be linked in today's episode. So if you want to go click on that, and on our YouTube channel, you will see when we schedule lives. So set a reminder and tune in for the live, or just listen to the podcast. It's up to you guys. But yeah, we had fun. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.